Okay, so get ready because we are going to transform how you think about moths from, kind of like news a moth
Yeah.
to being like, whoa, that's a beautiful moth.
Yeah.
Today, we're going like really deep on a single photograph, and it's really going to like blow your mind when you think about all the beauty and like all the complexity in nature.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how something so simple can really show these really intricate connections within an ecosystem, and I'm excited to kind of dive into that with you.
Okay, so we're looking at the picture of the day,
All right.
and it features a female Amphipoea oculea.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, better known as the ear moth.
Okay.
And this ear moth is looking pretty stylish, perched on a field, scabious in Estonia.
Estonia. Well, that's interesting. Estonia is definitely within the ear moth's range, which actually spans across a lot of Europe. Includes the UK and Ireland, but it's interesting because you won't find them in certain places like Greece or Turkey.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Like what kind of environmental factors or ecological niches might actually like influence where they live.
Like what's going on there?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there like not enough of the plants they like to eat there?
Yeah, a lack of suitable host plants or even a specific climate preference that they have. I don't know. It definitely makes you think.
Yeah, it really does. So,
Okay.
okay, speaking of things that make you think, check this out. This photo is actually like a composite image.
Oh, wow.
It's 22 separate pictures.
22?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a technique called focus stacking.
Okay.
This photographer like really went the extra mile to capture like all the little details of this moth.
That's commitment. I love that. So focus stacking, I'm kind of curious about this. So it's like you combine all of these photos and they're focused at different points. It's kind of like how our eyes and brain work together when we're like looking at something to figure out how far away it is.
No, depth perception.
Yes, exactly. Depth perception. And then, the result is this one really sharp image that has all this detail. It must take a lot of patience to get all those shots and then, put them together.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like trying to get a moth to stay still for 22 photos.
I know, right?
It's amazing. Okay, so speaking of details, let's talk about the size of this moth. The ear moth, it's got a wingspan of about 29 to 34 millimeters.
Okay.
So to put that into perspective, it's somewhere between the size of like a coin and a bottle cap.
Okay, so small but mighty.
Exactly. Small but mighty.
Yeah.
And, they actually play a really crucial role in the ecosystem.
Yeah, how so?
They're pollinators,
Oh, that's right.
especially since they're like out and about at night.
Okay.
So while they're like drawn to light sources and like flowers at night during the day, they're, sipping nectar from plants like thistles and ragwort. And that's how they're contributing to like plant diversity and the resilience of, plant life and ecosystems.
So they're busy little bees. I mean, busy little moths.
Yes. And they also like to eat honeydew and sugar.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
Yeah.
So they've got a little bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that honeydew preference is really interesting because it connects them to another insect.
Okay. Tell me more.
So aphids.
Oh, aphids, yeah.
Yeah, aphids are those tiny little insects that suck the sap out of plants, and they produce this sticky sweet substance called honeydew as a byproduct. And moths, they actually love to feed on honeydew, and so in a way, they actually can help control aphid populations.
So they're like little pest control.
Yeah, natural pest control. They're benefiting gardens and the whole ecosystem.
It's like all these little connections, like the aphids are helping the moths are helping the plants. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's so cool how even these tiny creatures have these really important roles to play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So this whole picture, the focus stacking the international flair, from Estonia, it unveils this whole hidden world of pollination, pest control. And it just really makes you think like even something that seems simple like a moth on a flower is actually way more complex than we realize.
Yeah, it really just shows you how interconnected nature really is.
Right, yeah.
From a tiny aphid creating this honeydew to the photographer who like meticulously crafted this image to capture the moth's beauty. It really makes you think about, what other unseen connections are out there in the world around us.
That's such a great question. So the next time you see a moth, just take a moment to appreciate, like everything that's going on with that moth and, the story behind it. There's this whole universe of wonders unfolding right in front of us if we just take the time to look a little closer.
That's awesome.
I think that's a great place to end it.
I agree.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it was fun.